you stop licking my feet? I know that you love to bathe me in the morning, but it's kind of weird. It is. I love you, but it's weird. It's very freaky. I know you mean well. Oh, thank you. Delicious. Delicious. No, let's not do that. It's a little too early. Gross. Tallulah. Oh, God. Tallulah. You're freaking me out. Stop, baby. Thank you. I appreciate the bath, but I don't need it. I need a shower. Not a dog licking. Yeah, climb up in the meditation chair. Good girl. Go meditate. Good girl. Good girl. That a girl. Let's see if the chat's working. Good morning, Jamie Taylor. Chat is working. You popped in right as I was entering in my links to make sure that they were working. I slept in. Thank you for posting that, Jamie. Please post it out to groups too. I would appreciate it. I spoke with Ducky this morning. And I have been running late this morning. I slept in. Good morning, Rose. I slept in until 8:30 this morning, which is beyond me. Good morning, Christina Avalos. I have not slept in. I'm just saging the rock bag. The bag of rocks. Dumb as a bag of rocks. The grounding stones. I have not slept in until 8:30 for a long time. So it was really weird. I remember Gus waking me up this morning by licking my face like just before 6 a.m. And Bodie and everybody like kind of coming around me. Even the cats were around me trying to wake me up. And I was half awake. I looked at my clock on my phone. I knew it was just before 6 a.m. And then I remember turning over to Gus and grabbing him and going, can we just wait a minute? Can we stay in bed for a while? And I guess everybody said, okay. They agreed to it. And I slept till 8:30. I woke up, I was like, kind of startled because I'm normally on by 8:30. So it was actually 8:24 to be exact. But giving you guys a little sage in your aura. Sage in the space for you, sage in my phone. No bad news coming over my phone today. Not that there would be, but just, grounding everything. Saging it, grounding it, consecrating the space. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I had to do a little hustle, quick style call in, get everybody in here. Archangels and Ascended Masters and whoever else that wants to, not whoever else, I'm not open to just anybody, but those of which that I call upon in the morning to help make me a vessel. I said, please, this vessel was sleeping. All right, so I'm not going to take a lot of time doing house rule stuff. You guys know what's going on. If there's any new people, it will be explained to you. Good morning, Christy Wilson. Good morning, Teresa Barker. How are you? It will be explained to you later in other videos or whatever. There is a poll, or not a poll. The poll will go up in a little while. The poll is not going up in the group until mid-month only, and this is the reason why. Because we get so many posts in the group, just memes and stuff like that, that I don't want the poll to fall down the wall and get lost. And then everybody's like, where's the poll? Where's the poll? So the first half of October is just about watching the videos, commenting on them, and liking them, okay? And then the second half will be, I'll put the poll up and let you guys vote. We might pin it to the top of the page or something so that we can find it and tally those votes, okay? So right now it's just we're focusing on how many each unboxing video gets, how many watches they get, and how many likes or comments. This is my favorite kind of thing. Okay, so that's that. And you guys can keep an eye out for the poll when it comes out. It won't come out till well after I'm back from New York. I leave from New York. I'll leave for New York on the 6th, which is Sunday. Just another reminder there. Other than that, everything is business as usual. Friday night, we have a charm event. Thank you for everybody that attended last night. It was fun. It got a little weird at the end there with the dead dog thing, but whatever. I'll deal with it. She went from dogs to cats. She wanted messages from her past animals, which I've never done before. And then I attempted to do it, and then I got confused because she started talking about cats. So I think at that point I was so tired, I was just like, whatever. But that happened last night, so that was interesting. It might be worth a watch because it was like, what? I don't know. Um, and I discovered through talking with Ducky last night, I get what you guys are talking about the words being backwards. I've never noticed that. My camera here, when it's facing me, it looks correct. So I've always assumed that what I'm seeing in this camera, because it's an overhead camera over here, um, the way that I've positioned the overhead camera over here and inverted it, it's showing up correctly to you guys as it is in my screen, but it's not for some reason. I don't know why. It's like mirroring the image and sending it out. So I'm going to do a little research on that and try and figure that out. I may not do that today, but hopefully I will get that fixed by some point in the near future so that you guys can actually read the scripts on the cards. I understand now what you guys mean. That was also throwing me off too, because that was something I had never heard of last night. You guys were all like, "It's I can't read it. It's backwards. It's backwards." And I was like, nobody's ever said this to me in the months that I've been doing this. What is going on? So it's this Brio camera, but I don't know why it mirrors it back, but it looks correct on my screen. So it's strange. Even when I put the card down, I can read it on my computer screen, but I'm also looking at it on the board. So does that make sense? So it's some weird thing, but I will look into it and try and figure it out and get it fixed. I haven't had as much coffee as I normally do because I'm sort of running behind. But good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rebecca Roberts. How are you? So those are the housekeeping notes for today. We will get those things addressed. I'm just waiting to see. I haven't seen Ducky come in yet. She's probably making her coffee and making cups for everybody. So once Ducky gets here, we will get started. Are you in my throat? I think I might be, but shh, don't say anything, Rose. I feel a little phlegmy. And I'm like, no, not before New York. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. But my voice does sound a little deep, so I don't know. For those of you who can't see on YouTube, Rose is asking, am I growing a tickler? And I think she means like a tickler in my throat. My throat sounds a little bit, I found myself when I was lighting incense around the house, I do this thing where I go through the house and I light certain sticks of incense in certain places in the house in the morning. And uh, I noticed, I was like, oh. I was like, what's that? I haven't been sick in a while, so I hope that's not the case. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to get sick. I hope not. I don't know. Who knows? I'm good, Rebecca Roberts. I'm very good. I hope you're well too. Yeah, my throat. Yes, Rose says yes, your throat. I know it does sound a little bit deeper, but it's also that I just woke up. So normally the thing is I sound real butch in the morning. It's kind of hot. Normally in the morning, you guys see me on camera like I get up at like before 6. So you guys will see me by like 8:30. I will have been up for like 2.5 hours, and my voice is sort of mellowed out because I think I'm up, I'm moving around, I'm having coffee, excuse the expression, but I'm lubricating my throat with coffee or whatever. So maybe that's it. I'm hoping that's it. I do not want to be getting sick before New York. So that would be a bummer. I don't think that's going to happen though. I have been waiting for this, and I think that New York is a blessed thing that I'm to do. So I'm not going to let a little bit of sickness get in my way, even if that were the case. But I don't feel under the weather. I just feel like I'm just waking up. I literally got up less than an hour ago. So that might be it. As you're just hearing my voice, morning voice. This is my morning voice. So if I ever wanted to do like phone sex work, I would have to fit all my calls into like the first hour of the morning before, my voice goes back up to the higher octaves. Before I start sounding like a lady. A lady! Anyways, so let's get to, hey Jen Nicole, how are you? Good morning. Good morning, Nate. Let's get our breath work going. You guys know the drill, right? Now we're taking in breath through our nose, deep into the belly. We're releasing out the mouth. Positive going in, negative going out, right? We're grounding through our grounding cord, imagining that line of energy through our first chakra, connected to our first chakra, going all the way down into the planet, all the way to the center of the earth, and we're allowing anything that doesn't belong to us, anything that we're carrying that we no longer need, anything that's no longer important to us or serving us in any sort of way, anything that's old, outdated, recycled, that needs to be recycled and refreshed. It can be our energy or the energy of others that's in our space. We just release it down that grounding cord. Just allow it to go. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to force it. Okay? As we take those breaths in, we're going to hold them at the top of the breath just to allow the oxygen to permeate our bloodstream and our brain, which I need right now because I haven't been up for a little while yet. Then when we release that breath, let's be thankful for first the body, then the mind, then the spirit, okay? And this is a beautiful practice to do, I think, personally, to make yourself more present in the moment and in the space that you're in. I feel that it helps to touch yourself. Place your hand on your heart, or you can place your hand wherever if it's your stomach, you can put both hands on your stomach if you choose to, or on your thighs, wherever it sort of brings your attention back to you right here, right now. What else am I going to say? As we take in each breath, and this is important, I think we're like sort of moving along, guys. There's something that tells me that we're sort of expanding a little bit as a group, and I hope that's the case. I hope you're into that idea. But as we are exhaling, I want us to imagine a light within our body. It can mine originates from my heart chakra, right? You can have yours originate from whatever chakra you choose, okay? But imagine that light sort of like gently spreading out into the body, okay? And it's like, not only is it spreading out, but it's filling each and every cell around it with light, with sweet golden light that vibrates at your vibration, okay? Let's say that. It's like renewing and refreshing those cells for yourself, okay? If you're working out of, say, maybe your stomach is where you want your light to emanate from, your third chakra, that's totally fine. Imagine as you're doing that golden light is also clearing that chakra, okay? Like it's just moving out anything that doesn't belong there so that you can exhale it with that exhale breath, or you can push it down that grounding cord. Not push it, but like let it ease down that grounding cord. Let it just go down. You do not have to get into any effort around it, okay? This is a simple practice. Keep it simple. Simple, the universe loves simple, easy, flowing, right? So just allow it to happen, intend for it, and watch it take place, okay? So as we do that, just emanate that light, and with each breath in and exhale out, have that breath and light just sort of expand even bigger. It can go out beyond your body, out beyond the outer line of your body into your auric field, okay? By the end, we want to sort of be in this golden ball of light is the goal, right? So let's just have that be our intention, right? We are safe in that golden ball of light. That is our dominion. That is our auric field. We are entitled to it. We are born with it. Everyone has one. And it is your right to fill it with whatever you choose to, whatever you're in agreement with, and when you have a right to refuse things, right? And say no. That's free will for you. And that is free will, where you're like, no, not today. I don't want that. So you can let go of it, okay? You have every right to do that. Anything that's outdated, anything that's not serving you, anything that's doubtful, anything that's worrisome, you can let it go for a moment, That's the whole point of meditation, is bringing you into the present moment and reminding you that really all you have is right now, right? You can worry about next week. You can fret about what happened last year, but you really can't do anything except from the present moment, okay? So let's do that together. Are you ready? We're going to close our eyes if you feel comfortable. Get into your space. Just sort of relax your body. Notice if there's any tension anywhere in your body, or any discomfort, and just kind of say hello to it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to change it. You can let that light go there. The light will know where to go and how to heal. Imagine that this light is your spirit expanding within your body, okay? And allow that to happen. So let's close our eyes, and I'm going to say, let's inhale. Let's take in our first breath, and we're going to hold at the top. So let's inhale deep into the belly through our nose. And inhale. and release. Thanking our body for the beautiful creation that it is. Reminding ourselves that at some level we created this body at a soul level. This was the body we chose to come into. This was the body that we we wanted to come into, that we wanted to learn our lessons from at a physical level, and being thankful to that body for carrying us through this lifetime. Regardless of judgments or feelings that we have around our body, allowing those to be let go and saying thank you to our body for being the perfect body that it is for us. Let's take in that second breath. And release. Always allowing that light to expand out at a cellular level, hitting bones, cells, everything, just filling it with light. Thanking our mind for the wonderful sort of like maniacal computer it can be when it can sort of drive us into doubt and fear and worry in an effort to keep us safe. It does it from a place of insecurity, and it does it from a place of loving us, right? It wants to keep us safe, but really we should be grateful to it. We need to become in alignment with it, synthesize with it, and honor it for the beautiful tool that it is, for the problem-solving skill that it has, and for all the experiences that it has gotten us through, either with grace or without grace, but just being thankful for all of it up until this very point in this moment right now. And let's take in that third breath and keep expanding that light even when you're on the intake of the breath or on the exhale of the breath. So let's intake our third breath. And release. Really expanding that light, allowing it to just reach the outer edges of our aura, which is our energetic field around us. Even allow some of that light to go down that grounding cord, give that grounding cord a little bit of a healing. And thank your spirit for everything that it does, for the knowledge that it has, for the awareness and experience that it's experienced both in this lifetime and in previous lifetimes and the lifetimes to come. Thanking your spirit for always being with you, reminding yourself at both a body and mind level that we do have a spiritual self that is with us, guiding us, that we can call upon at any point in time, and being grateful to that spirit that it is there with us and will show up at any point in time. Let's just sit in this gratitude for a moment and listen to my dog pant like a madman. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Hi, Bode. Are you wrestling on the bed? Why don't you go have a drink of water, baby? The heavy breathing is kind of like a dirty phone call. Why don't you go somewhere else? Yeah, you just like being around this golden light energy. I know how you are, you goofball. I'm coughing. I don't want to get sick. No, Zycam. Calgon, take me away. Okay. It was interesting. Did anybody notice? I don't know how well you guys can hear, but when we took in that first breath, and I noticed this yesterday too. I don't know if you guys noticed this on yesterday's morning video, but when we take in that first breath and start to expand that light, there's a bird that starts singing outside the window. I don't know. I haven't seen the bird yet, but I hear him. And yesterday I thought, is that in the music or is that an actual bird? But it happens right after I say, let's breathe in. And it happened again this morning. And it's the same bird song. So I don't know if you guys can hear that. But good morning, Faith, Hope, Love. What a lovely name. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning, Jen Nicole. So, yeah. So I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but it's outside my window, and it's like sort of um, this bird that shows up every morning when we take in the first breath. So I don't know. Play it back and see if you guys can hear that. It's very faint, but he goes like the minute we take the first breath, and he did it yesterday too because I thought it was in the music. And then I heard him do it twice yesterday. I was like, oh no, it's not in the music. There's a bird outside. But then he came today, and it's always on the first breath. So, um, just a little. I feel like that's nature coming to meet us where we're at. All right, so let's get into today's forecast. I am Dan Geist, your spiritual meteorologist. This is Engelgeist, my channel. For those of you that have stuck around and paid attention and don't know me, hello, welcome. I'm glad that you've chosen to join us. What I'm doing today is I do a brief reading for the collective where I shuffle the cards and we look at the energy or what sort of we as a group kind of collectively need to know today. Those of you that are new to me, please keep in mind a little bit of a yes/no question because I am going to shuffle a smaller oracle deck that has sort of yes/no answers. So that might give you some guidance on a personal question of your own. But right now, the deck that I'm working with is the Witchwood Oracle, and I am going to shuffle it, and we're going to look at the energy for the collective for today, October 3rd, Thursday, 2019. So, okay, Spirit, please bring us a card. What does the collective need to know? What is needs to be in our awareness for Thursday, October 3rd, 2019? Also, please like and share the video. Liking the video is hitting the thumbs up if you're on YouTube. And on the business page, I believe you can heart it or like it, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every morning when I go online. I also do other videos. I have live charm events on Wednesday nights and Friday nights, and free card pulls happen then. So you can tune in there, be notified of when those happen. I also am available for private readings, and you can contact me via my Facebook business page if you're interested in that. I do private charm private charm readings and private card readings. So those are available to you too. Okay, Spirit, what do we need to know today? What are we working on? I also feel this strong desire to look back into the week now that we're at Thursday because I haven't been tying back, which I normally do, and I think part of that is because of us switching decks at the first of the month, even though we're still with this witchy theme deck for the month of October. Thank you. That was decisive. Oh, interesting. Okay. We've got a card. I'm going to switch out so that you guys can see the card, and you'll have to just listen to me talk. Birdie does want to join in. It's funny, when you meditate, nature will come and meet you. It's really interesting. So I'm going to go back and watch yesterday's video and maybe rewatch today's once it posts and see if I can hear the bird, because it really does. It happened at the same time this morning. I mean, not the same time, but at the same time during the broadcast. All right, so here's our card today, and today's the Crown. And this makes me think about, right out of the gate, where do we rule? What do we rule? What are we in charge of versus what are we not? Where do we have dominion in our life and in our space? Where do we rule from a place of love and benevolence, or do we rule from a place of judgment and denial of things? Like, do we sort of hold ourselves back and say, no, I don't deserve that. You know, I'm the queen of my space, but I can't allow myself to have that right now. What are we doing with our rulership is what the message that I'm getting. Sorry, my dog is panting in the background. If you can't see him down there in the far corner, he's like passed out because they not passed out, but they were wrestling on the bed while I was in this room. Everybody misbehaves when I start to read. When I come into the office, the animals all start roughhousing. Um, so this crown makes me think of that first and foremost. Is like the question today is what I'm getting from spirit is how are we ruling in our lives? How are we taking care of ourselves? How are we taking care of others? Not that it's about necessarily taking care of others, but are we being fair? Are we being benevolent? Are we treating ourselves fairly? Are we loving on ourselves? Then the next thing where I go with this card is I think about our crown chakra, which is our knowing. Okay? And it makes me think of the crown, which is at the top of the head. That's where this energy center is located. And this is our knowing. And a lot of people come to psychics because they're seeking answers to their sort of lack or their inability to know in that moment, their fear, their doubt, their worry. So this reminds me or calls to me, spirit calls to me to remind you guys that you guys have this chakra at the top of your head where, say, a crown would sit, right? An actual physical crown. And that you guys can tap into this energy at any point in time and access your own inner knowing. Like I've always said, a personal reading with me is not necessarily about me answering your questions or solving your problems for you. It's about you trusting your own intuition and trusting your own knowing, finding your answers. I help facilitate that in a private reading, and that's where a healing will take place because I will help to validate information that is already within you. I sort of help to bring to the surface where you go, oh yeah, I did know that, or oh yeah, I was feeling that. Thank you so very much. Because that's really what we as human beings are looking for is validation. When I say that, when I talk about validation, then I go back to this crown. Because it looks like when we wear a crown, we're being honored, correct? We're being honored, we're being validated for who we are in our authenticity. And so this crown also reminds me of that. Is are we honoring ourselves authentically? Are we living our authentic self? Are we being honest with ourselves? Are we loving ourselves and giving ourselves the sort of power in our lives to sort of rule successfully from a place of sort of benevolence and love? And I'm not talking about ruling over others per se. What I mean is sort of ruling within our own life, ruling in a way where we are kind to ourselves, where we are gentle with ourselves, where we are benevolent and appropriate with ourselves? Or are we being harsh? Are we being critical of our abilities, of our mistakes, of our insecurities? We want to let go of those things today. That's what this card is telling me. Yesterday, and let's tie it in because we haven't been tying back into the back end of the. We had that Janet frame from the Literary Witches deck, which we loved, and we had that Peacock, right? Which was the middle week card. And so, I'm glad I'm doing this now because this crown is definitely got a peacock energy to it in a sense that it is allowing us to wear this sort of bejeweled crown on our head, right? Be aware of who we are and what's good about ourselves and honor that within ourselves with this crown. Placing this crown on our head and putting ourselves first and in charge of our life, right? And sort of taking that helm or taking that crown and owning it, knowing it, and allowing it to come from a place of benevolence and love, right? Yesterday was that death card. What did we need to let go of was the question. And the smaller card was let go. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, this ties in very nicely because those of you that did look at what you needed to let go of throughout the day yesterday and maybe actually did and allowed those things from the past or shame or some of the emotions that we talked about that we saw in that death card, if we've released some of those or even worked on looking at them and becoming in acceptance of those, that liberates us to now access this crown, to access our own crown energy center and the knowing around that, and to sort of be more in a position to be in control of our life, to make clearer decisions in our life, and to be in a place where not only can we be in control of our own life, but we can also sort of help others to find their answers, their knowing, their benevolence, their center of their universe, right? And become their own ruler of their life. We don't have to solve it for them. We don't have to fix it for them. We just set them on the path of that, knowing that they are royalty, right? In a sense, that we all are in our individual authenticity. Does that make sense, guys? I hope that makes sense. Let me get to the smaller card. This is from the White Witch Oracle. Gonna just shuffle, have a yes or no question in your mind. But as I said yesterday in the video, don't ever take these cards over your own intuition, please. So if this, if your yes no question comes out and it's a no, and your intuition says, hey, wait a second, I feel like this is a right thing for me to do, then I want you to stay with your intuition over the cards, okay? These are just to add a little bit of depth to the reading. And we'll see. So far, they've been pairing very nicely with these cards. So I don't even know that we need the yes/no question. I was just assuming that we did, because some of these cards are like directly they just say on them no. So let's see. Thank you, Spirit, for that beautiful crown card. And the message that comes with it. What do they need to know? Both those that are watching now and those that will tune in at any point in the future. Okay. I love this. Jesus Christ. This fell right out of the bottom of the deck. Normally I cut the deck, and it's a very small deck. This says, you're going in the right direction. Let me just put that in there. I love that she's swinging. Oh, you're going in the right direction, folks. So I think that what we're talking about, what I'm getting from Spirit right now, is this is Spirit making me laugh, because Spirit is telling me where I'm reading this card. This is more me personally, but for you guys, I'll read it and interpret it right for you. But what Spirit's telling me is the way that I've just read this card right now, it's sort of having a laugh at me, because it's saying you're going in the right direction. Like, you're doing a really good job, Dan. You're reading these cards really well. This is like Spirit saying, ha 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 ha. But that's just for me personally. But for you guys, the read is, if you start to honor yourself with this, from this place of like royalty, from this crown, if you start to honor your knowing, if you start to access your crown and clear out that chakra. Remember, today we talked about like how to do this breathing exercise where we emanate that gold. If we emanated that golden light, which is our own light of our own spirit, all the way up to the top of our head into our crown chakra, we clear out our crown chakra. Lots of times people in their energy will sit on our crown. They'll try and not overpower us, because that sort of sounds like a frightening word, but they will sometimes sort of put their information into our crown chakra. It starts from a very young age, right? Society like teaches us and sort of what's the word, like, not breeds us, but like educates us in a way that sort of leads us to live our lives by certain set rules that maybe aren't necessarily our rules, right? And so sometimes going into our crown chakra and clearing out the belief systems that are in there that maybe aren't necessarily even ours, that don't belong to us. We were just taught them a long time ago, we adopted them, and we lived by them the rest of our lives. That's why we're confused and we can't access our knowing. I have the same issue, guys. I go through the same issue. I have to go into meditation and look at, like, is this mine, or was I just taught this? Is this what society expects of me? Is this what I want? And so that's kind of what this crown is about today, is that not only like treating yourself with the kindness that you deserve and treating yourself like the queen or the king that you are, but also being aware that you are going in the right direction. Trust your spirit. This pendulum is swinging back and forth. We have the moon here. We have this hand, and it almost feels like it's pointing directly at you guys, or at me, saying, you, yeah, you, hey, you, yeah, you, hey, yeah, you. I'm pointing my pointer at you guys out there in the interwebs. You are going in the right direction. The minute you line up with that belief, the minute you start to tell yourself that, the minute you start to know that in your crown, is the minute your path shifts. If you're in this place of, oh my God, I'm confused, oh my God, I don't know what to do, oh my God, I don't know if this is right, well then you can't access this crown. You can't access your knowing. You've shut yourself off from your higher knowledge or your higher self. You need to settle into the idea that you are going in the right direction. Know that, own that, live from that place. Even if you feel like you're sort of faking it, or if you feel like you are, just pretend for a bit and see if that gets you closer to the beauty of this crown. Okay? Because I feel like sometimes, even if we set those intentions or set those vibes, whether we believe them or not, we start to adopt them. They start to become real, and then we start to live by them, and they become an actual reality. And that's how sort of manifestation can work in one's life. Now, let's go to the grounding stone. I just want to see if there's anything else that I'm missing from this week as I go back through the week. We also have that beautiful moon card in on Monday, guys. So there's an intuitive connection to all of this too. So I would go back and look at some of these readings, and they do all tie in. We're at the peacock, and we're going to the end of the week, which is that lantern, which is us shining in who we are and really owning it. This crown already speaks to that, okay? So let's see what the card, this is. Okay, so here's this grounding stone today. This is what the stone that we are to ground in today, the idea or the spiritual principle, the sort of thing that we want to sort of return to or focus on today to help us to access the energy that's in these cards, or the message that we had today. Hopefully I can get this stone to stand up. The stone is gratitude. So gratitude is always a wonderful energy to be in. It's the energy that I talk about most of the time when I end every broadcast. Gratitude to me is a very high vibrational energy without it having to be sort of like real ampy. Does that make sense? When you are in gratitude, you are in a place of receptivity. You are in a place of peace. You are in a place of, it's like sort of a quiet, high vibrational, almost mellow energy. It's very easy on the physical body, yet it's very in line with the spirit. Does that make sense? I think that there's a lot of people that talk about spiritual work, and they talk about you need to raise your vibration, and you do, but you can raise your vibration to vibrations that feel comfortable, like peace and gratitude. They're not vibrations that we're always, what's the word? As a society, they're not vibrations that are taught to us very often, right? We're sort of put in this place of, oh, I'm going to flip the camera really quick because I just want to give you guys a physical description of this. I see a lot of spiritual teachers that want to be like, yeah, you need to be dancing and you need to be high vibe and ooh la la, yeah. To me, that's fine and great for them, and that is high vibration. But on a physical level, for me personally, my alignment is with more like peace and gratitude. More like, say, how a monk meditates and comes into the present moment and is at peace. That's a very high vibration. It's almost so high vibration that it's like the body can align to it, the spirit can align to it, and everything can match up. Does that make sense? So it's great to be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And when I get in that place where I'm in that place, it does feel great, don't get me wrong. But that place is always sort of, to me, it feels unsustainable at a long-term space. Does that make sense? But gratitude, or a vibration of peace, is so much more without all the bells and whistles, but still high vibration. Does that make sense? So I kind of seek that, and that's where it shifts my vibration so that I can be more in line. And not only is it more in line with my physical body, okay, this is where spirit is taking me. Not only is the idea of gratitude, or the energy or the vibration of gratitude, more in line with sort of the lower physical self, yet also in line with the higher spiritual self. And it kind of connects the three plus the mental plane, right? It can connect all three and be a comfortable high vibration for all three. But it also, because we have so many fucked up vibrations on the planet, excuse my language, and so much wonky stuff happening that we're all processing and working through and affected by, gratitude is a beautiful vibration to be in and to emanate out onto the planet, because it sort of settles It's the vibration that sort of settles all of the chaos and brings it together. Does that make sense? So sometimes the chaos, like again, I'm going macro for you and in micro. Okay, so the macro look, the bigger picture is all the craziness in the planet politically, social, economically, all of those sort of things. When we're in a place of our own personal gratitude or our own personal peace, we emanate that out onto the planet. That goes out onto the planet, and I think that that helps to settle those energies, right? And the more of us that do that, the more peace and more gratitude just is circulating around the planet, the more those bigger issues can be affected and made peaceful and brought into alignment with one another, right? Maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but this is what I'm seeing right now. I'm being told to tell you. So we start that, it starts with us, right? On a more microcosmic level, right? The way that the similarity is in that is that the energy of gratitude or the energy of peace is a high vibrational energy, although it may not feel like it's moving very quickly or feels like it's, creating a lot of swirl. Does that make sense? Because it's very present moment, but it brings the denser vibration of the body in line with the higher vibration of the mind and in line with the highest vibration of the spirit. So any sort of personal chaos that we have going on in our life, similar to that chaos that we see out in the world, that we may match in energy because we're looking at Facebook and it's freaking us out because of what's going on in the world. Maybe there's some sort of layer of fear that we haven't looked at because we haven't meditated on it, or we haven't looked at it and found some sort of personal gratitude within ourselves. If we find that gratitude, we are able to line ourselves up. And when we line ourselves up, then we put that out and we start to line up with what's going on around us, regardless of what it is. Does that make sense? Hey, Allie Nichols, how are you? And so when we do that, we actually put ourselves into a place where we're more in line not only with ourselves in our physical body, in the world of our physical body and mental body and spiritual body. Okay, this is why I did that. Which body do you work out of? Pick a card. But you're also more in line with the body, which is the macro body of the planet and all of those that exist within it, the energies and everything that exists within it. Okay? So that's the message for today. I hope that wasn't too heady or weird or out there. I hope it made sense. It certainly makes sense to me as I look at it from here, and I'm very grateful to Spirit for sharing that with me because I need to practice that and will. Remember that we are going in the right direction, and the more that you adopt that, the more that you're able to adopt that sense of gratitude. When you're able to adopt that sense of gratitude, like I feel like all three of these, let me get my pointer, I feel like all three of these create a circle. I'm seeing this circle of energy between these three right now. So wherever you want to start, you can start. You can start from a place of gratitude and start to access your crown and your knowledge and wear the crown and treat yourself as the queen or king that you are. Put yourself first and love your life and rule your life from a place of authority and authenticity. And you can know that you're going in the right direction. Or you can start by just assuming that you're going in the right direction and start with that belief. It will bring you to a place of gratitude, which then brings you to this crown. Do you see what I'm saying? Or you can start from this crown card and start to treat yourself as such and start to realize you're going in the right direction, which will also bring you this sense of gratitude. But these three things kind of work together to sort of push you forward through your day or through your week. And as you adopt these things and make them very real, you watch your relationship to yourself, to your knowing, and to your world around you and your environment around you change. And your environment will respond to you differently. Your environment, the world around you, will respond to you differently. It will respond to you as if you are this benevolent ruler, as if you are the sort of the center of your own universe, which ultimately, I know that sounds selfish, but ultimately we are the centers of our own universe in the sense that we are the ones experiencing this lifetime that we're in, and we are the only thing that we can control and change. We can do that through gratitude. Good morning from New Zealand. Hi, Sophie. Good morning. Welcome back. Is this your first time? I thought you've been here before. I remember that name. I feel like I remember that name, Sophie. I feel like you were here just yesterday, were you not? Or it was somebody else with a New Zealander name. It's the Tangoai Kahui that makes me think of that you were here before. If I'm saying that right, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I just did the daily forecast for everybody, so it was a beautiful message. If those of you that are just coming in, welcome to the group. Please like, share, subscribe to either the Facebook business page or subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell on either one so you're notified when I go live. That way you guys can come into the room at the beginning and catch it live and interact with me live. At this point, the message has gone out. You can certainly replay, hit the hashtag replay and replay it, watch it. It was a beautiful message today. It really ties in. Spirit has definitely, I feel as though, without tooting my own horn, but beep beep, Spirit has come through today in a beautiful, beautiful way. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with Spirit. I've just only asked Spirit to come and help me. Any of you guys can do the same. So, Spirit is there for you also. And so, Spirit has shown up today and given us a beautiful reading, just like yesterday, and just like it has been doing for the last few weeks, really. So, for those of you that are just coming in, welcome to the room, but I'm about to sign off. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry to be signing off so quickly with you coming all the way from New Zealand, Sophie. Sorry that you flew all the way here, but I am about to sign off. So you were here yesterday. I thought so. I thought I recognized your name. I'm paying attention, guys. Don't think I'm not paying attention. Hey, Linda Massa. Good morning. Thank you. She says, beautiful message today, Dan. I'm glad you were able to see it. Thank you, Linda Massa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Carla Dubé, I think, or Dubé, I'm not sure. I don't want to mispronounce your name. You over on Facebook, please do rewatch the message. It is a beautiful message today. And I don't know why. You have a great day too, Ali Nichols. Hey, good morning, Kelly Camp. I don't know why it seems like Spirit is wanting me to play with this macro-micro thing, like how we do things internally with ourselves and how they sort of mirror in the larger perspective, right? So the last 2 days, there's been a little bit of that macro-micro where I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, where it's like, oh, if we do this work internally in ourselves, it also changes things on a much larger level. So if you do go back, those of you that do go back and watch the replay, when we go into the first breath, let me know, do you hear a bird? Comment on whether or not you hear the bird, because I hear this bird and it starts whistling. In the last 2 days, on the last 2 videos, it whistles the minute we start going in with the first breath. So I'm going to go back and rewatch and check yesterday's video and today's and see if you can actually hear it, because he's somewhere out here. He hasn't. One day the little shit's going to fly right in front of me. I know it. I can just feel it already. Like I hear Spirit telling me, don't worry, we're sending you this bird. He's going to come and sit right here on the tree because I have a window that's open right here. So I have a feeling I'm going to figure out who this bird is. The other great thing too is that crows have been showing up since I've been back, and crow medicine is a big medicine of mine. Like, I love crows. One of my decks that I don't share with anybody else, I only use for me personally, is Crow Tarot. If you don't know her, I sing her praises all the time. And I will do an unboxing of that because I love that deck. But that's going to be a very special unboxing that I have to put together. But what I was going to say is with crows, they have been around for the last few days, and that's a really big blessing for me. And I haven't seen them up until like just in the last week have they been showing up, and they're in the yard and they're cawing and I'm saying good morning to them. So I'm feeling really good in that regard. All right, you guys. Jackie Simmons says, awesome message today, worth the replay. Thank you, you guys. I love you all for tuning in. You're welcome, Christina Avalos. She says, thanks, Dan, for the great message. Good morning, Jen Nichols. She says she's late, but she will rewatch. Please do rewatch. It's a good one today, Jen. And look for the bird. See if you can hear the bird singing in the background. I'm interested to know. I might have to turn off the music tomorrow when we do the breathing and see if we can hear the bird. Because I'm telling you, that bird keeps coming back every day. Um, you guys have a great day. And I will, yeah, crows are very smart birds. They know facial recognition. They also, you know what they do? This is the cool thing about crows, is that they pass down information through their DNA. So they know like where to go for food and stuff from generation to generation. And I've been thinking about creating a crow feeder, which is usually, it's funny too, because when I went home to take care of my grandmother, I stayed in my great grandmother's house, and I had a great uncle. His name was Bill, and I was taking care of my grandmother who had dementia. And there was this long, tall pole with this flat board on top of it with a rim around it, and I didn't understand what it was. It was in the center of the yard, and I was like, "What is that?" And why is it there? It's sort of old and ugly, and I didn't understand what it was. And so while I lived there for 2 years. But during that time, I had found out that my Uncle Bill used to work at the feed store in this small town in Montana. So I went there one day to talk to them. Or I think it was my grandmother. She had remembered. I asked what that thing was because it wasn't like to dry laundry. There was a laundry line out there and there was other stuff. I was like, what is that thing in the yard? Like, what's the point of that? It was like this tall beam with a platform on it. And like small square platform with a little edging on it, and I couldn't figure out why it was dead center in the yard, in the backyard. And I asked my grandmother, and she said, "Oh, that's where Bill used to feed the crows." And I said, "What?" "Yeah, Bill used to put the bird seed out there to feed the crows." And so I went to the feed store that my great uncle used to work at, and I got feed, like bird feed or whatever, deer corn and that sort of stuff. And I put it up there, and lo and behold, crows started showing up every morning, and they'd be cawing outside the house, sitting up on top of that thing, eating their food that I put out for them. And what I loved about that was that my grandmother's brother, who I didn't know very well, was a crow feeder. Like, right? Like he had a connection to the crows, and I have a deep connection to crows. And so to me, it sort of feels like it's in the DNA or it's in the lineage, similar to how crows do that with each other. So I've been contemplating putting in a crow feeder because now I'm starting to see the crows around and winter's coming. But then that means I don't know. I think the reason why he did it that way is because they feel safer because they can land on top because it was like high up. Like I have to reach the bag up to pour it into the flat, and then they come and they fly and they sit on it and eat it. So I think I might do that at some point. Just so that my crows have somewhere to eat, especially through the winter. But they have been around. They were around the last few days, so I haven't thought about that in a while. That's an interesting story to share. All right, you guys. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I think crows are in my DNA, Tammy. I think they are. Like, I think that there's some sort of connection to that bird. There always has been. There always have been around me since I was a child. Like, I remember them always being around me since I was little. Like Tippi Hedren from the Birds. But finding out that my uncle, my great uncle or my granduncle, I don't know what I would call him, he used to feed them too. It's sort of like interesting to me because she's like, "Oh, that's the crow feeder." It wasn't like it was for all the birds. It was like the crow feeder. Granted, other birds would show up and feed from there, but the crows would sort of chase them off. But the crows would come every day, and that was one of the things that kind of got me through Montana, was the feeding of the crows. So, and I fed crows like I remember these are silly stories. There was this. There was this Burger King I used to go to, and I would get French fries, right? Or I'd get the, not French fries, the tater tots in the morning breakfast because I worked at a hotel across the way. And there was this one crow that would eat the tater tots, and he would meet me in the morning in the parking lot as I would pass through this like car park that was near the bus stop for people to commute to San Francisco. And he would be there every morning. And I would go into Burger King, I would buy my little breakfast sandwich and a little thing of like those hash browns, and I would throw him a tater tot or whatever it was, the potato product, and he would totally eat it. And he'd be there like every day that I would go to work. He'd be like waiting there for me. It was the craziest thing. And he would totally like kind of hop along behind me waiting for more, and I would throw him more and throw him more. So I have this funny thing with crows. MJ Cullinane, if you guys don't know who she is, she created the deck, the Crow Tarot. And if you follow her, she actually feeds crows off of her deck, off of her outside of her window in Seattle. And they, you'll hear them during her readings. If you watch and subscribe to her channel, she does a daily reading. You'll hear them sometimes in the background cawing because they want to get fed. And I love that. I'm like, get it, MJ. Part of me loves it, and part of me is sort of jealous because I'm like, oh my God, I want that, because those crows like know her, you know? And there's a story too that goes around on the internet from time to time about the girl that fed the birds, and then they bring her trinkets. They would bring her little marbles, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but there's a story about that. If you look that up or Google that, there's a story about a young girl in England that would feed crows, and then the crows started bringing her like shiny objects, in like sort of thank you, you know, to for the feeding that she was doing. So that's another way that, like I said, you know, nature comes to meet us. Nature will come and meet us if we're at that level of being in gratitude and in acceptance of it and in alignment with it. You know, nature will come to us and do amazing things, like have a crow bring you, you know, little shiny pieces and bits and baubles. And they show the picture of the bits and baubles. Let me see if I can find it on the internet. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try and dig this shit up. Let me see if there's any. Okay. It's not in England. One second, I'm going to expand this for 1 second. I'm going to give you guys the link. It's not in England. She's actually a girl in Seattle. It was on BBC News. But I want to share this with you guys just because I love this story. I think it's super cool. I'm going to put it in the message box right now. Check that out. Is that going to let me? It was on BBC News. That's why I thought it was in Britain. It's not in Britain. She's out of Seattle. And actually, that's where MJ Cullinane is. I wonder if this is MJ's daughter. I don't know. But they feed the crows up there. So, but check out that BBC.com link, and it will show you, there's a picture of all of the things that the crows have left her. You know, like she has them all lined up, and it's like buttons and beads and like weird little things. But the crows bring them to her like as gifts. It's really cool, and I'm just like, wow, because they're smart animals. And if you look up, they do pass down DNA knowledge. So like they know through their DNA where, it's really strange, the sort of magic that crows have. So check it out. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. This video's run really long. Thank you for all of you who stayed tuned and watched all the way till the end. I really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow morning for the forecast, and then tomorrow night is a charmed event. If you guys want to get a charming, please pre-book. It just helps me to know what how the night's going to go and what sort of I need to do. For those of you that can't afford a charming, don't worry. There will be free card pulls in between the charmings. I do have one reservation right now, but a couple more would be great. This is a business. I am trying to make this a business. The morning forecasts are free. I don't mind doing those as free and sharing this information with you guys, but I am trying to make this my full-time work. So if you're interested in getting a charm, do that. If you're interested in getting a private reading, feel free to contact me at the business page. I'll put the Engelgeist link in here. Oh, never mind. You guys have seen it probably a million times. But that's always available to you. And if you're going to book a private reading, I would do it soon because I'm going to leave on the 6th, Sunday, and I'll be gone for 5 days. But I will still be broadcasting. I'm going to take my computer with me and try and broadcast the morning forecast. But I don't know that I'm going to be doing private readings from where I'm at in New York. So, and if any of you guys are in the Rhinebeck area and want to meet and say hello in person, I'm down. I'm going to be at a place called Omega It's in sort of spiritual institute. So in Rhinebeck, New York. So what else? I think that's it. I will see you guys all tomorrow in the morning. Sorry I was a little late today. I'm just now feeling like I'm waking up. Now it's like I'm at my 2-hour point. This is when I'm supposed to be getting online. But I'm gonna go and I need to get that crow feeder built. I will. I actually was at the store the other day at Brookshire's and I saw the big bag of deer corn. And I was like, do I want to buy a bag of deer corn and throw it out on the lawn? But then I could attract other critters. And I already have the pine trees and stuff already attract squirrels and all sorts of stuff. They make a mess of the pine cones because they eat the pine cones and throw them down in my driveway. But I'll figure it out. And then I'll show you guys. I'll maybe do a video of it where you guys can see the crows because I would love the crows to be visiting here all the time. All right. Where's Pattersonville Alley? I don't know where that is. Is that close to Rhinebeck? I'm sorry your stomach hurts, Beyonce. Have a great day. Take care of yourself, dear. Outside Albany, so that's way upstate. I've never been to Albany. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Rhinebeck just for 5 days, which is like about, I think it's a hour and a half north of like Manhattan, I believe. So it's kind of country up there, but it's west. Albany's west. Okay, I am not. I thought for some reason Albany was north, but I've only ever been to. I've been to Rhinebeck once, a long time ago. And then I've been to Manhattan a few times, which is an amazing city. Like, an amazing city. So, but I haven't been to New York in a long time, so it'll be interesting. But I'm going to go up there and do some yoga, do some communing with the angels, and have some fun. Oh. All right, you guys, have a great day. I need to sign off and figure out what I'm doing with the rest of my day. And I'm gonna go back and watch those videos and see if I can hear that bird. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Okay, you guys? And remember, be in gratitude. Like, that's the key. The key to all of this is, like, I think all three different components of today's reading are key. They can all lead to the other. It's a full circle. I'm seeing that. All right, you guys, have a great day. Love you all. Bye.